Hey everybody, welcome to our Couch to 5K Bible study. Today we're going to be talking about Job 32 and 33, and you might be asking, why are we starting in the middle of the book of Job? Well, actually our daily lectionary that comes out from the Presbyterian Mission Agency has a daily set of readings from the Hebrew Bible. And if you had been following along, we actually started in those readings on August 22nd. And we're not reading the entire book of Job, but if you keep going day by day, you're going through some of the key parts of the book of Job. Now, Job chapter 32 comes after this long process. At the beginning of the book of Job, we find out Job is an upright and blameless man. He's got 7,000 sheep. He's got 3,000 camel. He's got 7 sons and 3 daughters and lots of servants. He is the greatest man in the East, is what it says in the beginning of the book of Job. And then he loses everything. So his friends come and sit with him, and for 7 days they say nothing because they're looking at just the desperation that he's in. And then they start talking. And so what happens as you go through the book of Job is one of his friends, there's 3 friends sitting there, one friend will speak up, and then Job will respond, and then another friend will speak up, and then Job will respond. And this goes on and on. Now, by the time you get to Job chapter 19, Job says something along the lines of, why do you continue to torment me and crush me with words? This is in chapter 19. And then it goes on for another 12 chapters until you get to chapter 32. And at this point, a new character comes along who we haven't really heard about until chapter 32. His name is Elihu, and he speaks up and says, look, I'm young. I'm getting angry here because you're basically saying that you didn't do anything wrong. And all I know about God is someone who, when we admit that we haven't done something wrong, when we admit that we've made a mistake, God is there to help and forgive us. So Elihu begins by speaking up and saying, I'm young, but I realize it's the Spirit of God that's in somebody. It's not how old they are that gives them something to say. Now, I don't know if you've ever sat in a meeting that went on and on and on, and maybe or a class or something like that, where you felt like you had something to say, and then finally you spoke up. But what happens is once Elihu opens his mouth in chapter 32, he doesn't stop until the end of chapter 37. So he continues on. Now, I'll let you read for yourself, but the one thing I want to point out from this passage is the fact that Elihu is speaking up from a place of youth, but also from a place of deep conviction, because he feels deep in his heart that he has something important to say. And the question I would ask just from looking at that passage today is, if there are times where you feel like your voice needs to be heard, what does it take for you to have the courage to speak up, even when maybe you don't feel like you fit in or you feel like maybe other people won't listen to you? So that's something to consider for today. Elihu is an interesting character. He only appears in those 6 chapters of the Bible, 32 to 37. And I would love to hear what you have to say. You can post in the comments, as you read the 32nd and 33rd chapters of Job, what jumps out at you. You can put your comments in. We'd love to hear from you. And we will have another brief Bible study coming up next week, Monday. And Pastor Evelyn will have something for us then. Thanks a lot. See you soon.